Hi guys, welcome back to Our Messy House. Today is a collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. Today I wanted to give you my hits and misses, kind of a year recap, but I don't give myself a time frame that my child has to complete a grade or anything by. We just continue to do school, we take breaks when we need to take breaks, and that's just kind of the vibe that I go with homeschooling. It actually has been extremely successful for us. So I'm going to kind of break down what we've been using this year and give you a more in-depth look. But I talk about them in my other videos as well. Here and there we have added so much and changed so many things. I don't think we've had any real true strong misses, maybe just like one. Otherwise they've just been things that are like, nah, we need to like tweak this, or not really for that child, or we need to add something in to supplement the kind of holes, if you will, in that curriculum. And it's the holes based off of the way that my child learns. In math, I just really want to be not just one workbook where they're like working hard or getting frustrated with it. I really want math to be like an all-encompassing, something that we're working on in multiple different ways all the time, and I'll show you what I mean. So in our math this year, we started out with the Simply Good and Beautiful Math K this year. We found this to be a very gentle math curriculum, so it was totally acceptable for our 4-year-old to be doing it as her first math. I don't totally agree with this math being enough to cover kindergarten and to be able to move on to first grade, so that's just my opinion. So I added extra things in. We were able to complete this book. We started in May. We completed this book by Christmas. So we added other things in. We kind of took a break from math just to kind of figure out where we were at, and we added a lot of other things in along the way. So what I first added in was Count on Pablo. I talk about this book a lot in my other math, but it's basically a Math Matters books. This Count on Pablo and a Collection for Kate kind of runs through numbers, skip counting, and they're just like story-based living math problems. Like Pablo is setting up like a food stand with his grandmother, and so they're counting by 2s and 5s and 10s and whatnot, and they're making salsa and they're selling it at their stand, and it's just a cool book, and it has gotten both of my kids counting really well. From just using this book instead of physically making them sit down and count to 100, they've actually been able to count to 200 and skip count to 200, just using this Count on Pablo book. And I found this a very good addition to the Good and the Beautiful Math K, because in the Good and Beautiful Math K, they do actually require you to outside of the math teach your child certain skills, which I was unaware of when I started this. I wasn't prepared for the little notes that they say, like, it literally just says like count with your child to 100, but that's not how my child learns. If I sit there and verbally count to 100, my child's not going to be able to memorize that many numbers in that sequence, and also not be able to visualize that many numbers in that sequence, if that makes sense, without something like this where numbers just make sense instead of her just counting to count. She's counting actual physical things. I was unaware that I needed to add that to this curriculum, and I think that's why this curriculum originally was a big flop for our family. But the more I talk to my daughter and the more I see the value that came from this curriculum, I'm not going to call this curriculum a miss, but we did the Good and Beautiful Math K and we loved it when we added other things in. Then I decided to do the Raise New Primary Arithmetic with my daughter for this coming school year, but we were already done with this current book, and I felt like we kind of mended what I would call holes, for lack of better words, in this curriculum with these Math Matter books. And so we went ahead and moved on to Raise Primary Arithmetic, and we did all of the addition and subtraction lessons, and we continue to do them currently. I don't want my child to move on to division and multiplication at age 5 quite yet. I don't think she's developmentally ready to take on that task. And so that is what's next in this book. So we have done all of the addition and subtraction, and we have done them orally as well as used our counter rocks for them. And I can go more in depth if you would like to on this. This is a very great like summer curriculum, and kind of just like a practice curriculum, or to just throw it in on a day where maybe the child doesn't want to do this book, they want to do something a little different and fun, and so you can add this in. But it's only like, I think there's like, I don't even know, there's only a couple pages of addition and subtraction lessons. I think there's only like 30 lessons in all, and they're very simple. So my daughter did run through like 2 lessons at a time, and especially after having done the Math K, because she has done this stuff. And so we have finished that. We're going to continue to work on it throughout the summer just to really master it. But when we move on, we will be moving on to a different math, and I will make a video about that. But I know that this was my pick for next year, but we are done with it. And that was a hit. I think all of those were a massive hit. Something else I added in, which I absolutely love, to our math day, was Tiny Polka Dots. This is a card game. I will show you all about it, but Tiny Polka Dots is basically the most incredible little card game, and it's actually genuinely fun to play with your kids. I saw it on someone else's channel, and I was like, that is actually perfect for what I'm looking for right now, just to get my child really quickly at picking up on visual numbers in different formats. And as well as we read tons and tons of math living books, again, like the Math Matters, but we added in like 100 Hungry Ants, anything that had to do with numbers we added into our math curriculum this year. We found some really great, like the lemonade stand, yeah, the winter lemonade stand or whatever from the library. It was really beautifully done. They counted a lot of money in there, so we got a lot of money practice. As well as we did Life of Fred Apples. We just did it as a read out loud. We visually look at what Fred is doing in this book, and we do see his math problems, and he literally talks out his math problems. We just don't physically get the supplies and do them as if this was our curriculum. It feels like a lot, but it really solidified some crazy math concepts, and it was super fun. With science, I did use Science Solves It. It's the Ant Attack book, similar to the Math Matters, the Science Solves It books. And we were able to learn about surveys and how to take a survey. So that was really fun. We got to use jelly beans and have a bunch of people taste the jelly beans, and then they gave us feedback on which ones were their favorite. We took a survey on which ones were their favorite to see which ones we needed to sell in our jelly bean store. So that was pretty fun, and the kids really love this book. This is a super great science book. It's a great way to do science after reading an entire like little chapter book, because this is as long as a chapter, like a small chapter book, like a first chapter book, and then you do the project at the end. Both of my kids love that at age she was 4 at the time and 2, and they both enjoyed that a ton. Another science thing we did was we have this tiny little greenhouse, and we're going to be replanting it hopefully today, because we are done with the current plants in it. But this has been literally, this little greenhouse has been just so much fun. We got to put it together ourselves. It has the little pots. It has a self-watering system the kids get to learn about. It has lots of different activities. This was a lot of fun, and we will continue to use it throughout the years. And we get to use it during the winter and whatnot, which is fun, because right now during the summer, they're watching my giant garden grow. And so having their own little tiny garden in the winter and whatnot will be really fun. Another couple random things in science, like we have this beehive that we collected. We learned a lot about bees. My kids absolutely love bees. They'll pick them up with their bare hands. It freaks me out. Random things like pine cones. We have an actual bird's nest in here that fell off of someone's house. We have bird's nests that we have made in here, as well as birds. And my kids just remake different bird's nests with all of this stuff. We have like feathers and whatnot that they can weave into their own bird's nest. And this will keep them busy for a half an hour, 45 minutes. So that's pretty fun, and we are learning a lot about birds this next year in our next curriculum. So this is definitely a huge hit. This summer we are doing a lot of pressing flowers, and we're saving these flowers to make candles and whatnot for the winter. My daughter is currently, we're gonna try to press like a ton of our wildflowers that we have, but currently we're pressing some, and our child is, a lot of stuff in this book. Our child has been making like a little field guide with them. So that's been kind of fun, knowing like flower names and whatnot, and being able to press them has been really fun. We also consumed our veterinarian study for next year this summer. It's not summer here yet, but it's like a week away. We already did our vet study for the year, which is hilarious. I'm having to redo my entire curriculum for next year because we've already consumed, I would say 90% of the curriculum that we're doing next year, we've already consumed. And so I think I underestimated how much school my kids actually do, because they really genuinely love learning right now. That may not always be the case, but it really is for my kids right now. And so we were able to do all of our veterinarian study. This vet study had 13 animal activities. You got to make a plastered cast, learn animal anatomy, create a working stethoscope, learn how to use and study x-rays, learn why doctors make x-rays. There is like a organ puzzle where you get to put the cat's organs back in them. You learn how to sew. There was just a lot of really great life skills and life lessons in this, and I will actually be purchasing this again for my son when he's old enough to use it. There's a ton of activities in here, and I have recommended it to all of my friends. I recommend it to you. It's a huge hit. It says ages 5+, and I feel like that's truly an accurate description of around when your child should do this. We've played a lot of games throughout this school year, and one of our biggest games has been Guess in 10, basically animal sciences, and our child's learning animals, not only animals but animal facts, like where they live, what they eat. Like, I'm an omnivore, I live in the forest, how many legs it has, so 2-legged, and if it can or cannot be domesticated and what domesticated means. They also have buzzwords and clues to tell you what kind of animal they are. And even a child who cannot read, if you teach them about the 4 facts, they have pictures of the facts. So if you say, you know, what do I eat? They could say, like, I eat leaves and meat, because there's omnivore on there, and you'll say like, oh, an omnivore, and you'll just kind of solidify that in their brain, like, oh, if they eat both, it's an omnivore, before they're even reading. So it's been really great. Both of my kids play that. We've played it since age of 4 and 2, and we still continue to play it almost daily. My kids absolutely love Guess in 10. I'm excited to be able to use their cities and countries one. I think they have cities and countries a bit later on in life when we are ready to use those, and that's really exciting. 10 out of 10, huge hit for us. Wildcraft, an herbal adventure game. This game is it's just amazing. I am someone who really likes to think outside the box with games. I like them to be learning. A lot of board games are learning. They learn lots of tactical skills and money skills and whatnot, playing just standard, you know, board games. But games like this, where you learn all of your herb names and what elements that they can help heal, or that you can use them on, like if you get a bee sting, what herbs and stuff from the environment can you use to remedy that? And this has been an incredible addition to our homeschool. My kids have been able to recognize plants out in the wild from simply just from playing this game. And so I think it's extremely beneficial for a family who does go on lots of hikes and does go into the forest and does go camping, because your child will know so incredibly much about what they can use in moments of like them not having anything else, having a first aid kit, and also they'll know the plants, so they'll know what to touch, what not to touch, and what they heal and whatnot. So this has been an incredible game. We'll keep it throughout the years. Wildcraft and herbal adventure game. Another subject we have done is art. We've done a ton of arts and crafts projects that I can't possibly show all of them on here, but our standard core is something that they can do every single day, is just having a sketchbook, and they can watercolor in this sketchbook and sketch, draw whatever they want, as many pages as they want. There's no limit. They don't have to notebook. They don't have to do anything like that. They can just take their watercolors outside, and whatever they see, they could paint. And that has been extremely fun this year. Both of my kids do that. My husband and I do that. Every Sunday we sit down, we take our sketchbooks, and we actually take an art class online as a whole family. Now our 2-year-old, he really just scribbles on his page, and then he moves on without, like, then he moves on about his day. But we really come to love that time doing art together and like disconnecting really from the world. Although it's an online class, it's just a video of how to, and you're engulfed in your art, in your picture. And so this has been really fun. Something I recommend that's an easy thing for mom is also the Life Inside a Can art pages. I try to get color books that aren't like Mickey Mouse, the Dollar Tree ones. There's nothing inherently wrong with those. I just try to stay away from characters from videos for my children in everything, sheets, blankets, just pretty much everything in our household. We do have like Mickey Mouse as a stuffy, but when it comes to art and whatnot, I have really loved the Life Inside a Can. One side is this black paging so that it doesn't bleed through when you are using your watercolors, which has been just super fun because we always use watercolors. Although we pull them out of here when we use them, we always use our watercolors on them, and it has been amazing. There's like the most beautiful artwork in here, and we will be buying this again, so a huge hit for us. Okay, since the last clip, my camera died, so my hair looks different. It's been a while. Now it's charged a little bit. So let's finish up this hits and misses. Something that we did last year, which we absolutely loved, a huge hit for us, was the Treehouse Schoolhouse Christmas Around the World study. I have put it in these little menus. We were only able to actually complete Mexico last year in Around the World because this study has so much in it, and it is amazing. So this year I actually only handpicked 6 countries for us to go to around the world, and we will be going to those countries. But this last year we did the Mexico study, and it was really just perfect for the Christmas time. During the weeks that we do this, we actually stop all other school and we just focus on the studies from around the world for Christmas time. We love it. We will be doing it again this year. I bought these menus specifically for it because you can put the different countries and whatnot in it, and it was a huge hit for us. There's art study, there's verses and poems, and just so quotes, and just so many beautiful things. Craft for every place, like 10 books to read about every country that are Christmas, like how they celebrate Christmas, or things that they believe in their culture based around Christmas time. And it was really a beautiful study, and we will use it throughout the years to come. A miss for us is this half of these books were in my what we're going to use next year, and I have pulled them because we have read a couple of the American Girl collection books this summer with my daughter, and I have decided as a parent that we are not ready for these. There's some things that we talk about, some subjects that we talk about that I'm not prepared to answer yet, and I have not laid down how exactly I want to talk about those with my children. And so I need to go study that myself and just be in a right place, and also make sure that they're old enough to really understand what's in these and the history that comes with these. But also I need to be able to answer questions in a way that they're going to understand. And at age 4.5, 5, we're just not ready for these. It's a legitimate miss. It likely will never come back. The Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. Both my daughter and myself did not enjoy this. This is not the way I teach. This is not the way she learns. There's a lot going on every single page. Neither one of our brains could really handle that. And it's just not for us. And so this was a miss for us, and we likely will be gifting it to someone else that might think they can use it. What we replaced the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons with was the preschool course book from The Good and the Beautiful. In January, she has completed it, and she has really taken off with it. I think this is a beautiful program for letter recognition and letter sounds. And so this program is really a great shoot off for learning how to read. Something that I coupled with this big hit was the JadyA letter sounds YouTube video. That's what I started with of her products, and basically her letter sound YouTube video is free. It's on her YouTube channel, and it's just her saying the A sound, the B sound, the C sound, the D sound, and it's just 1 minute. It's literally 60 seconds of her saying those sounds, white font on a black screen. I'll link it down below, and you're supposed to play it to your child and have them repeat it 1 time a day. We did it 2 times a day because my kids really liked doing it, and they were able to, not only my 4.5-year-old, but my 2-year-old was able to pick up on all the letter sounds in correlation to their letter without even, my 2-year-old doesn't even know all of the letter names, because we taught letter sounds first, and so he knows all of the letter sounds. Because we love that so much, I thought that it was great to move from this book that we had finished for the summer and start the Elemental Phonics Level 1, which is JadyA's actual workbook. And this workbook is just a very simplified version of the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, and yet it works amazingly. Like, it's beautiful. This book, they start blending 2-letter, I wouldn't say words, I mean, they just start blending 2 letters together with the vowels. So A, E, I, O, and U will be on every page, and they will have a letter before it that they are blending. They will go until they start blending 3-letter actual words, CVC words. And at the very end, they will be able to read, after blending all these, they will be able to read, oh, where is it? They're able to read full word sentences on these pages. This has been a beautiful addition to our homeschool. We'll use it with our son as well. We also got the audio version. She's been doing the audio now that she has completed the workbook. You do the audio book with the workbook once you have completed it, sounding it out and learning how to blend it. And that has been like a huge hit for our homeschool. My child learns based off of audio really well. This book has a lot of YouTube videos as well, but I have found that we have learned a lot from these YouTube videos, the good and the beautiful, but we've also learned like 10 times more with the actual audio version of sounding out words that are in this book, with it playing in her ears without her looking at a TV screen. It's just playing in her ears and not on the screen while she is physically reading, and that has been huge for her. So these 2 together has been amazing. I also found that going from the preschool book to the level K Good and Beautiful book, this actually is a great in-between. Although they do have, we call it the kangaroo book, but they have like a pre-kindergarten book in between, but with this in between, we do not need it. This teaches the vowel sounds, the blending of 2- and 3-letter words. Basically, you're going to be a huge chunk through there before you start the they have a before you start this kindergarten book, you have to do X, Y, and Z. You will be completely completed with X, Y, and Z by just simply doing this program in between the 2 of them. One thing we did was doodles and pre-writing from the Good and the Beautiful. Now I will say that this was great. We grabbed this one. I think it's very young. I think you should start it younger than the age of 4. But also this book has the same as this book has in it. It has a little less, obviously, but this does have the same penmanship work in it. So did we really need this? Likely not, but it was beneficial. So would I get it again? Probably not. So I will just end up getting this book next time for my future children. We played a lot of Charades for Kids. If you haven't heard of Charades for Kids, this is a beautiful game that your child can actually play charades before they can read. So even our 2-year-old can play it, and we have loved it. A huge hit in our family. And they learn acting skills. They learn how to be confident in what they're doing. They learn how to laugh it off when they're being silly. And it's just really a beautiful way to learn, and as well as see the word in the picture and be able to act it out. But eventually when they're learning to read, be like, oh, that word is chair, and I'm supposed to act out that I'm a chair. And it's been really a great game for us. We enjoy it. We play it at family functions with all of the adults, and it's really fun. Thank you for watching my video. Comment down below on anything else that you'd like to see, any questions you might have about this curriculum. I hope I did a good job just running through it. If you want to see a more in-depth flip through, I can do that as well. I just didn't want to make this video 5,000 years long. But this is the curriculum we use this year. We really love all of these pieces, obviously, and we will continue to use them in the future. We're very excited about what we're using for this next year, and we'll have to make an updated video. Obviously, we're still using the McGuffies, but other than the McGuffies, we actually consumed basically our entire school year worth of school already this year. And so I do have to go through and do more picks, or the second pick of that version for my child. So I will be remaking a video and just kind of letting you know what we kind of chose or what's kind of working for us come this next school year. Make sure to watch all of the other videos in the playlist down below from my collaboration, and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.